I just dropped the introduction video, and I still feel like it's some things that I didn't get to. So in this video, I'm gonna, kind of, give y'all more information. And also, I'm on my way to the shop now to tattoo one of my guys. His name is Artie Cruddy on Instagram, Cruddy Inc. And if you're interested in, checking somebody else out from the city who do good work, hit up my mans. So people often ask me like where the name Doloink came from. And it honestly came from one of my Instagram names. It started out as Marco Dolo, but then it also just grew into who I was as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more of a reserved type of person. I'm very introverted. I'm good with people. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good people person, cool, laid back. But I'm, naturally, I'm an introvert. I'm more to myself. I feel like I get a lot more stuff done when I'm to myself, by myself. But, I also enjoy being around people also. But, I'm more of a reserved type person. So now that I'm 31, I'm even more to myself. And, just coming into a space where, I actually enjoy what I do and love what I do. It allows me to put more energy into, my craft, bettering myself, and, just trying to be a better person, better artist, better friend, a better, man. So that's where Doloink came from. And that's where Dolo came from. And then, also just being in the recording studio before I got into the tattoo shop, before I got into everything, a lot of people just randomly started calling me that, you know what I'm saying? Dolo this, Dolo that. And also, I went through a period of time where I was, drinking a lot. And I was drinking Douce and stuff like that often. So a lot of people used to call me Dolo Douce for a little period of time, which after a while I felt like was kind of corny. So I just, kept it at Dolo. And then from there, once I got into doing tattoos, it stuck. What made me get into tattooing really was just, I needed something different. I started out doing graphic designing, and I was doing that for a long period of time, doing logos, brand designs. And, from there, I just needed to, branch off and do something different that, I could put more of my creativity into. So tattooing was that route. I started doing graphic designing probably from, I would say, 2017 to about 2020. Because then 2020 is where I fully, put myself into doing tattooing. And I started to really kind of like take it seriously. So around that period of time, I was figuring things out. I was, getting clients through tattooing. And then over time, I started to really improve my work and take it even more seriously. And then I went from, working out of recording studios to finally getting into a tattoo shop. And through tattooing, it kind of got me out of my comfort zone, making more connection with people, being able to be more face-to-face and having conversations with people and getting to know people. And, I made a lot of connections, met a lot of people, so, it really changed my life in a way. You know what I'm saying? I met so many people, so many opportunities presented itself, since I got into tattooing, and I love it. Graphic designer was cool too, but it kind of kept me in the box. It kept me behind the computer screen. And I felt like I wasn't really making as many connections. Like, I was making a lot of connections. Don't get me wrong, I was getting a lot of clientele. But it just, I felt empty. It was emptiness there. You know what I'm saying? Once I got into doing tattoos, it exposed me to a lot of things. It exposed me to even being able to, do things like this, like being able to talk on the camera and, want to explore different things and better myself as a person. And I feel like, if I was still in that space where I was doing graphic design, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So, I'm grateful for that. And then as time went along, I went from tattooing and recording studios And, you know, I definitely want to thank the people that, you know, put me in position to even do that at that period of time. And then I, you know, moved from the recording studios to finally getting into a shop with, you know, my homie, you know, Ultimate Ink TJ. Definitely check him out. He's a dope artist in the city, and he been tagged to him for some years. So, you know, he can give you a lot of, you know, pointers, and if you need any, you know, help with anything, check him out for sure. So when it comes down to my style of work, it's more of a split between realism and illustrative. You know, I like to do a lot of work that tells a story and that, you know, evokes some type of emotion out of the people that's viewing it. Just pulled up to the shop, about to go ahead and get set up. About to tag to my guy, Cruddy Ink. All the Cruddy, check him out. And I'm gonna give y'all a glimpse of my process and show y'all the final product. So recently, Brody just did the side of my neck. So now we just doing tat for tat. So now I gotta return the favor. You better do the back of his neck. He getting blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm gonna show y'all how I look at the end. And I'm gonna link a picture of what he did on the side of my neck. And like I said, if y'all ever wanna, you know, check him out, I'm gonna link his name at the bottom.
Act 4, Devotion. For me.